What is up, fellas? Texas A&M record on the line, undefeated. Still undefeated from last season. Looks to remain undefeated, unbeaten against number 10 in the country, Oklahoma, coming into town. Now we're starting to hit big-time rivalry games, big-time games within the Big 12 Conference. Now taking a look at the recruits, outside linebackers that we're looking at. Mr. Pruitt, a couple of tackles as well. Definitely a decent amount of offensive guards. A middle linebacker, I know we're going to lose a couple of guys, but just trying to build up a good, solid defense. Kind of get a little bit of a similar type defense with like Datnwin and stuff like that A&M had in the late 1990s, with a pretty solid group of linebackers. Not Penn State tier, what I'm talking about, trying to get back to, but I'm trying to get on Penn State tier when it at least comes to linebackers, not defensive coordinators, if you know what I mean. Number 1 USC is on probation. They're number 1 in the country, so technically let's just get everything moved up a spot. South Carolina with the Cherry Garcia, Ben and Jerry's quarterback at the time. Number 4 right behind Texas A&M, technically number 3, then UCLA. Auburn, Louisville right there to finish out at number 7 so far. And then here we go, making a statement. I mean, big man on campus is the big man in the country. Mike Goodson getting things done for this Texas A&M team right there as well. Gerard Johnson makes his way. There's Cherry Garcia. Look at that hair right there. 34 total touchdowns. You got halfback number 5 with Wisconsin. I don't remember who that is. I don't think that's James White. Quarterback number 6, we got Graham Harrell. 6 touchdowns against what is actually probably the, well, you could say that it is the number 1 rival for that team. Of course, Gerard Johnson right there to be 5th and last on that list to finish it up. But number 3 in the country, 23-game winning streak. Remember, did not get into the national title. Honestly, A&M had a lot of close games that we just happened to pull out. Could have easily been 9-3 last season, but we happened to win 3 of the close games. Now going up against an 8-1 Oklahoma team. Gonna have to take action because that's what I get for not having disciplined players. Fields last time, who's the freshman center for this team, out a game, and now we have a starting right guard. This offensive line's already needing to be revamped through recruiting, but again, I mean, just 80 overall, and that's our starters, fellas. So going up against an Oklahoma team where you have the likes of a Gerald McCoy and company on the defensive line, who knows what to think of this game? I mean, we're going to have to ask Brad Nessler, Kurt Herbstreit, and Lee Corso, his Alzheimer's ass, as well, to see what he thinks of that. But 9-0, undefeated, number 3 in the country, hosting number 10 in the country, Boomer Sooner of Oklahoma. Gonna take a look at the conference standings real quick. Of course, 5-0 Texas A&M. We got 4-1 Oklahoma, then a 3-2 Texas squad. Still right around the top 10, just because most of these losses that you're seeing with Oklahoma and Texas so far coming from teams that are not only ranked, most likely ranked within the top 10, top 15. There's our man of the hour, averaging over 100 yards per game. Definitely, most definitely around 200 or so all-purpose yards because of what he's doing in the special teams game as well. Getting a couple catches, just like a Christian McCaffrey, and kind of being used how I wish he was used in real life by Francione. But thank God we have Franchione at quarterback. We're going to see the captains make their way up for the pick. Texas A&M, technically the favorite, but I don't know if I feel confident with that, considering Oklahoma is pretty much the class of the Big 12, even though we have quite the streak of undefeated team, 14-0 last season, and then, of course, 9-0 to start this season right here. But showing up on defense, nice little tackle right there by right outside linebacker number 44. However, though, he's going to injure his chest. One of the players that we did move over to middle linebacker. He should be back, though, in a couple of plays. But a player to worry about, DeMarco Murray. But fortunately not having to worry about him the rest of the drive. That will be the end of that one. 3 and out. Gerard Johnson in this offense now going out. Mike Goodson with a nice little run after the pitch. Set himself up for roughly 8 or 9 yards. A couple negative yards on that play. Bad pass by Gerard Johnson's just going to set up should have been picked off if you ask me, but it just leads to getting absolutely decked. Bad choice of a pass, and it's just leading his player out to the slaughter. Now later on in the drive, looking for a first down. Gerard Johnson's going to try to scramble his way, throws it out. Nice little catch right there by wide receiver number 82. pretty sure he is 4th or 5th on the depth chart, and what a cut move. Mike Goodson, the Heisman hopeful, #1, over 2,200 yards, all-purpose. Make that now 24 touchdowns, total touchdowns, on the young season. Now I'm just kidding, it's 9 games already. But 45 yards on 2 rushes. We saw that rush earlier on the pitch, more so Gerard Johnson opening up space with his decision-making. But 7-0 at home. 2nd and 8 now for this Oklahoma team. Decent run right there to get 4 yards by DeMarco Murray. And then a pass on that one's just going to be deflected by Mr. Fisher-Price for what should be Texas A&M ball after a punt. Gerard Johnson, play action, going to look for his man Smith. No, he's going to look for wide receiver #9. Wonderful play, at least 30 yards on the completion. Texas A&M is going to get new, fresh set of downs after that. And then bam, just I guess if anything, that's just going to add some stats for Mr. Mike Goodson. But right here, an SE drag play. Going to be a pass out to wide receiver #88. Make that another impressive play through the air. Another impressive first down for Texas A&M. And then bam, their fullback, the man who at first was the starting running back for this team in the power. But hey, you got Mike Goodson, vastly improved over the offseason, and we can definitely see it just by his performance so far. He is the Heisman front runner at the moment. Jaworski Lane ends up getting a touchdown of his own. His rushing attack, 3-headed monsters, especially with a 89 overall Gerard Johnson as well. Can't complain about it whatsoever. But 134 total yards, 14-0 to start off this game at home in College Station. Oklahoma just not looking nearly as good. I know last season they obviously lost with an undefeated A&M team at home, but still, I mean, just it's a better Oklahoma team. I don't know if it's nearly as good of a Texas A&M team, but still, undefeated Texas A&M. And there's a little halfback direct to Mr. DeMarco Murray. It's going to be a turnover, as that was just, for some reason, Bob Stoops' choice on 4th down. I don't know why, but I'm not going to complain about it. Play action play right here with Gerard Johnson. Pass out to who other than Mr. tight end #3, Martellus Bennett. Flag on the play after a 1st and 10 completion. It's going to be holding on the offensive line. Going to lead to 10 yards back, but here we go. Mike Goodson, another 8 or so yards to add to his impressive stats already on this young day. And then Gerard Johnson, just happy feet everywhere. But again, that's where the plays can be made. Bad pass, though. It's going to lead to an interception. Free safety #5. He's going to get his 3rd pick of his career. Most likely his 3rd pick of the season, if you have any chance of betting man would choose on that one. I don't think I don't think these video games are very good about calculating these career stats in NCAA football. But first interception on the day by free safety #5. Gerard Johnson has definitely been not the best decision maker at quarterback for this Texas A&M team. Speaking of good decision making, is DeMarco Murray falling behind probably one of the best offensive lines in the country, going to lead to an impressive run, and then another impressive run for a 1st down, getting down the field. Now a pass out to DeMarco Murray, making moves. He gets pretty well lit up there by Mr. Fisher-Price, but as you can tell himself, not quite the stats of Mike Goodson. I don't think he's even getting that many opportunities as Mike Goodson when it comes to kick returns and whatnot. But the dude has 1,700 all-purpose yards on the season, 14 touchdowns as well, and then bam, Malcolm Kelly with the touchdown reception, going to lead to 17-4, and nice juke move by Mike Goodson, going to lead to a broken tackle and roughly 3 or 4 more yards down the field, and then a 1st down pass to wide receiver #9. 4 minutes left here in the 2nd quarter for Gerard Johnson and company. And then what a move by Mike Goodson's going to buy himself roughly 10 or 15 yards more for a 1st down. 1st and 10 now. Pass out to Mike Goodson. The speed's actually going to buy him 5 or more so yards. Not quite the 1st down, but hey, we got the likes of Gerard Johnson's going to throw this one in, and somehow that one gets caught. There's no penalty on the play. What a catch by wide receiver #82. I know we got Seth Smith from JUCO in the very, very first recruiting class by Fran Chaboni, but that's him and wide receiver #9, obviously the top 2 options at the wide receiver position, not counting Martellus Bennett, who's easily the best tight end in the country, at least when it comes to attributes, but only 35 yards by Mr. DeMarco Murray. A nice pursuit here by strong safety number 31, in which Malcolm Kelly looked like he was going to make his way into the end zone down the field. What a broken tackle, just throwing cornerback number 27 to the ground. Hey, he's an impact player, but 27 kind of gets his ass kicked sometimes. That was 26, though. But still, 26 and 27, the two best players on this defense, and especially two guys that I think that they won awards last season. Those dudes getting their ass kicked, and Speed and getting their ass kicked and getting lucky. Drop touchdown pass that would have made him 8 for 10 on the day. Easily more than 130 passing yards, and then 2 touchdowns as well by Sam Bradford. It's been an impressive game. And then bam, turnover on this play. This is not even a block kick, fellas. This is just straight up domination. He hits the living fuck out of Landry Jones. And Landry Jones, he's supposed to be the predecessor, or not predecessor. What the fuck? Correct term that I can't think of at the moment. And what a play by Mike Goodson. Huge, huge, huge play to buy some yards. Too bad it can't be a touchdown, but hey. Too bad for Oklahoma defense it didn't lead to the original spot. And then Gerard Johnson's feeling it as well as Mike Goodson. 97 rushing yards on the day compared to DeMarco Murray's 35 or so. And then a pass out to Mike Goodson. Should get a first down. Nope, it does not. Second and inches later on in the drive. Going to give it to Jaworski Lane just by 4 more downs because this offense does run fast enough. But however, though, nice sack by Mr. Hall. First sack on the day, I believe, by Oklahoma, and make it 2 sacks now. 30 seconds remaining here in the first half, and what seemed like a nice little drive to end the first half is just going to be shut down. End of the first half itself, scoring-wise, or at least with highlights. Straight now to the second half. Pass out. Wide receiver number 9. Flag on the play, however, for 2nd and 11. Could it be 2nd and 21? We'll just have to see. Holding on the play. And it's going to lead to 2nd and 20. Spot of the foul must have been a yard past, or a yard behind, or a yard ahead of the line of scrimmage. 21-7 still Gerard Johnson. Under pressure. He's done well right here when it comes to evading the pass rush, but he has not done well with protecting the ball or making good decisions with the ball through the air. And it's going to actually lead to Oklahoma getting its 2nd interception on the day. We saw their first 2 sacks as well towards the end of the first half. And Mr. Edwards gets an interception to add on to what was already an interception by free safety number 5. And now Oklahoma is garnering all the momentum. And what a move. Not really at all. It was just a fucking god-awful. Maybe it was just the move. I was expecting, you know, some flair. And all DeMarco Murray had to do was just make a quick little move to the outside. The man already has 100 yards. It was a nice little rush at the end of the first half. And now we have that nice blocking and beautiful run by Mr. DeMarco Murray. And speaking of beautiful, Jaworski Lane, he's the one who's not even supposed to be the pass-catching running back out of these two. Hell, in real life, he was the one that you would run halfback passes with. Because the guy had a pretty impressive arm. He could throw like 50 or 60 yards. And it showed a couple times. Which I ain't trying to fuck with that in this video game, but right here, speaking of not trying to fuck around, you get another sack, 3 sacks on the day, 4 hurries, 2 interceptions, and Texas A&M only up by 7 points, and it's going to go back to Oklahoma, 8 for 15 compared to the 8 for 11, but hey, again, I keep on forgetting this, we do have possibly the best kicker in the country. He's going to attempt this one from 54 yards away, and it's going to go well. 10-point lead now for Texas A&M. 3 points added on right there with Ryan Tannehill holding the ball for kicker number 7. No, this is not Randy Bullock, who ended up winning the Groza for Texas A&M in the same season that Justin Tucker happened to also be the kicker for the University of Texas. And Justin Tucker got the last laugh because guess what? He ended up sending A&M off to the SEC with a loss against Texas. But hey, go figure. It's not like it was the least expected thing. Texas dominates this fucking relationship between them and Texas A&M in football. And then bam, Jermaine Gresham with a big touchdown catch. But however, though, the Heisman hopeful, there's no way for. Did you see the fucking kicker just trotting his way? That's top speed, fellas. But hey, this is that right there was like a Ford Pinto trying to keep up with the Maserati. It's just not happening, fellas. Mike Goodson putting it back to 10 points for the lead. 122 yards by DeMarco Murray. 31-21 now. And then wide receiver number 1. What a move. What a Reggie Bush type move, as if he was playing Fresno State on his way to winning the Heisman before. Bam, I thought he was going yard for that one. I mean, DeMarco Murray really turned on the Jets in the second half. And then bam, Jermaine Gresham almost going to get chased down, but make that now 2 touchdown catches by him. And that's easily over 100 yards just on those 2 catches, not even counting the previous small little catches before, or just maybe the 1 catch. 3 catches on the day, 105 yards of obviously those 2 touchdowns, which have been the last 2 highlights. You've seen Jermaine Gresham, pretty much a guy that eventually becomes a better NFL prospect out of the draft than Martellus Bennett of Texas A&M. However, a better career by Martellus Bennett of Texas A&M, especially with the likes of Jay Cutler in Chicago. And then a block kick right here to make it, I believe, a 4-point lead, which is pretty huge when you think about how well Oklahoma's been playing at this point. And then wide receiver number 9, bad pursuit by what I thought was a bad man. And free safety number 5 ends up letting this man go for 6. As wide receiver number 9 puts on the Jets on the nice TO type spin to the outside after catching it. Wide receivers for some reason only get 1 boost for motivation. I don't give a shit though. At least we have the lead. We should be up by what? 11 points. And then bam, almost picked off on 3rd down, and it gets dropped by Malcolm Kelly, who I thought has had pretty stellar day, but more so though the tight end, Jermaine Gresham. And then right here, just what can you do? You get the pass rush. Steps out of bounds, unfortunately, though. I mean, trying to be as greedy as possible and wishing he had gotten the best of that play, but still, impressive run right there, but not able to run away from that. Blitz by linebacker number 8. Left, right, I think it was a right tackle is going to be out, though, and then just pretty much kind of seal this one. Mike Goodson on the outside. Hey, finally gets his due in the second half. We saw him get the touchdown return. Obviously, that impressive run to start the game for Texas A&M. Now make that 55 yards on 14 rushes. It's definitely been more of an efficiency standpoint for Mike Goodson's touches. And hey, I mean, it makes sense considering the man's done so much damage in little bitty attempts when it comes to special teams. And he's well over 2,500 to all-purpose yards at this point. And then a sack right there on the play right here. I think it was... Nope, it was actually a safety blitz right there, and that guy's just frozen in time like Han Solo. 27-45, Sam Bradford and them trying to have one last opportunity, and nice catch by Malcolm Kelly. First down right there, 133 yards by himself, so that makes 2 pass catchers for Sam Bradford, well over 100 yards by Mr. Kelly, 105 by Jermaine Gresham. Just over 4 minutes left here, and DeMarco Murray going to bust off a sick run up the middle. Should be around 20 yards, as he has over, I'd say over 150 considering a couple of sacks right there against him. And then here we go, one of his better runs on the day. Nice move to finish that one out to break a tackle down the field. Just a lot of people missing, and then DeMarco Murray catches it yet again. So this dude's totally going to have sex with one of the significant others of his teammates, let's be honest. But he does not get the touchdown opportunity right here as his backup running back number 17. Bob Stoops says, let's go for 2. You can't blame the man. They're down by 11. They need to make it a 2-possession game. Or at least make it a 2-possession game for sure. Or at least when it comes to counting field goal as well, but they're going to be down by 5 points at this point. It's not the end of the world, but 45-33. Who else? Impact player Martellus Bennett ends up getting halfback 3 though. Obviously he's a returner. It's not like the game's messing up by any means, but here you go. Jaworski Lane gets the broken tackle. However, though, it's going to be picked up by middle linebacker number 40 after a big hit for the fumble. No penalty on that one. The man contained his energy just well enough. And then right here, Oklahoma starting to carve this defense yet again. They've been quite efficient since pretty much halfway through the second quarter. They've done quite well. Now no huddle offense. What's Sam Bradford going to do? Nice little pass right there. Going to get roughly 5 yards. Should be no huddle yet again. 5 consecutive completions 2:30 left in the game. Then a pass out to wide receiver number 1 yet again. Gonna get an easy toe touch. Couple, maybe several, maybe 4 feet in on that one. But turnover, bad choice here on 4th down later on in the drive. As Texas A&M is going to take over 45 and then bam. Big play. This is going to seal it. It's going to be Jaworski Lane. Somehow outruns his 5-star defense. I don't know. But it's going to be a win on the day for Texas A&M. That's going to seal it. A fullback overcall on this one just to try to secure the ball. But hey, why secure the ball when you can for sure at the same time secure the victory? Texas A&M ends up winning this one 52-33. It was technically closer, I'd imagine. Definitely more methodical by Texas A&M's offense today, except for the big plays by Oklahoma on their offensive end. But there you go. Undefeated Texas A&M 10-0 on the season now. Looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like against the likes of Texas Tech, what it's going to be like against Texas. We'll just have to see. But Texas Tech next against Graham Harrell and company. Looking forward to it. As always, fellas, take it easy and see y'all in these 3 next time.